welcome back to another episode of TV Dudes.
Can't get rid of us.
That's right, we're back.
We are going to be talking about Community. With me on my left,
Randy?
and
Greg.
I'm Grant. So, Community, the TV show on NBC, came out last year, first season, and it was a breakout success. Possibly, arguably, the best comedy of last year, although...
Right, we don't want to have that argument because that just starts flame wars on the internet.
Yeah.
We like Modern Family Community, but they're both good. They're both good shows.
Modern Family got its award.
You don't have to love only one. You can love two comedies.
And they're both on different nights, so you can watch them both.
Exactly.
You don't even have to have a DVR war with them.
Right.
But it takes place at a community college, and it stars Joel McHale as a former lawyer who it's discovered his law degree is bogus, so he has to go back to school to actually get a real law degree. And so he enlists in community college to get the degree quickly, at least he hopes. And this is based on the creator of the show, Dan Harmon's real life experience where he attended community college, and he was saying that he was trying to he was interested in this girl, but it wasn't until he went to community college and gave it a chance to actually get to know other people. And in the community college, he tried to dismiss it at first. And finally, he said, "Okay, fine, I'll try and be friends with these guys." And he found it a really enriching experience. And that's what this show's about.
So it's pro community
Basically.
college.
Yeah, well,
It's community college propaganda.
It still mocks it.
Have any of you guys attended community college?
No, I worked at community college.
I have gone to classes.
I've gone to a few classes at the one here in Austin, ACC, and it's not that different from the show, really.
No, and the show is hilarious. It incorporates a lot of that smart humor that I think Arrested Development really had in it. Yeah. A lot of running gags that go from episode to episode. A lot of meta humor and a
lot of pop culture.
References
and the thing,
really does well. I think.
I don't know. I know I'm older than you guys, so a lot of those pop culture references are in my wheelhouse because they're all like basically from like Generation X people like me.
Yeah, there's some episode about some show called MASH. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean you want to go through the characters and go through your favorite episodes?
I think one of the greatest strengths of this show was its extremely strong cast.
It's a great ensemble.
Yeah, I mean, it has Joel McHale, who was on E! For the longest time, he took over Talk Soup. And I think he actually still does it, right?
Does he?
I think he does.
The guy is just brilliant. He has such great comedic timing. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, they were able to get Chevy Chase, which one might think is the kiss of death, but put him in a supporting role, and he's actually not too bad.
Brought him back from the dead.
Yeah.
Really.
It's got Donald Glover.
If there's a breakout star from it, Glover. And he's huge on Twitter because he had actually that whole he wanted to do audition.
He was doing Mystery Team and Derek Comedy before this.
Yeah, he had a comedy thing.
Well, but me being the guy who didn't watch that, so I didn't know that.
That's okay. Most people didn't.
But he was serious about auditioning for the new Spider-Man.
I would have loved that, by the way.
Yeah.
I was
so
totally
he built up this huge Twitter thing about him auditioning for Spider-Man, which would have been great.
And Ken Jeong, who plays Senior Chang, the Spanish teacher, is so brilliant. I mean, you also remember seeing this guy from
The Hangover?
The Hangover, and he was in a few small parts in other things.
He's been in a lot of Apatow movies. He was the doctor in The Hangover.
Yes.
In
Knocked Up.
Knocked Up, thank you. You can't talk about Donald Glover without talking about Danny Pudi.
No.
They're like...
Abed, who's really another breakout character.
Yeah. Yes. He plays an eccentric Rain Man type character who he dabbles with breaking the fourth wall and almost directly addressing the audience. But he has a lot of humor that references pop culture, and he's the guy who will always reference whatever cliche is going to be happening in the show. And it makes it so it's acceptable and even more hilarious
Yeah.
because of it.
His voiceover for the Goodfellas Take Off
Oh, that Goodfellas episode was fantastic.
was just with the chicken fingers and just the way they form their crew. I mean, he does the voiceover like Robert or like a Ray Liotta does in Goodfellas, and they shoot it like it. It is so funny because he's so deadpan when he says this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then there's also, I mean, the ladies of Community should not be overlooked either.
No, absolutely
Alison Brie. Oh, I love Alison Brie so very much.
I mean, she's so good. She was also on Mad Men.
She's in Mad Men. She plays Pete Campbell's wife, which is, again, I love when actors do, two different characters. I especially love it when they're both on at the same time.
Yeah.
And I guess she was inspired by Reese Witherspoon's character from Election.
Oh, okay.
I see it. Yeah,
she does. I totally see that.
She's so good. Like at first, when we first started watching the show, I was like, I don't know about that character, but she really grew on me. And
yeah, and then
hilarious.
Britta, yeah,
she's all right. I mean,
I warmed to her. They didn't know what to do with her at first, and the whole big deal was going to be her and Jeff, Joel McHale's character, whether or not they were.
It's a Ross and Rachel kind of thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't working. And they recognized that, and they went a different direction, and made her sort of the buzzkill who didn't want to be the buzzkill.
Oh yeah.
And by the second half of the season, she'd come into her own.
I think I was just thrown off when about halfway through the season they also, maybe not halfway, a couple season episodes in, they really tried to do a lot of sex appeal with her.
Yeah.
And it was just getting a little distractingly weird, and it was like, it seemed like they weren't sure what to do there.
Well, you don't want to forget Yvette Brown, Nicole Brown.
Yes, yeah.
Shirley, who's just, she's so, like she's really innocent, but she's like this mother, and then she's like this really kind of religious mother, and so she's so dismissive and condescending. If you don't look, she plays like, oh, that's so nice, even though you're gonna burn in hell. That's so nice. She is great.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And, I mean, that's the thing. Every single character, every single actor brings something different to the table, and they all work together well.
Yes.
And I mean, that's not even getting into all the running gags and all the guest stars and their mascot, the human being, the formless, shapeless human being that is the cow. I mean,
and the dean,
the dean,
just, man, he's actually the leader of the groundlings. And,
you might have to edit this. It's going really slow for some reason. You'll be editing this out.
Hopefully it's still recording in real time on my computer.
That would be
frustrating.
Yeah, it's gonna look like total idiots on that one.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's catching. Well,
we can go ahead and wrap it up and see if it records.
Well, shit. What was my point?
You were talking about the dean. We were talking about.
Oh, the best. My favorite supporting character, Starbucks.
Starbucks.
I mean, is he a writer for the show?
I think he's a writer.
He has that feel of somebody like they brought him in. Yeah.
And he's just such a small character, but he always pops up in like the background, and he's just loving it.
Well, I mean, but I think before we go, we'd be remiss not to talk about, I think, one of the greatest comedic episodes ever.
Oh, the paintball.
The paintball. I mean, it's just.
You want to talk about pop culture references?
Yeah. It's always funny. I mean, the John Woo, the
doves coming out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was every action movie. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And Mr. Chang was great when he's laying there and he's laughing, and then he explodes a paint bomb. And they do the running jump, and they even have like the the Will Smith movies where they get it. Get
Bad Boys.
The Bad Boys. Yeah.
So I mean, if there is one episode that you want to watch in order to see if you're interested, definitely watch that paintball episode. It's so good. The next season will be starting September 23rd, and I encourage everyone to watch this show. It is one of the best shows on TV now. One of the best comedies, at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent, yes.
All right, and TV Dudes out.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Ma'amatibo la araña discoteca.
Discoteca, Moneca, la biblioteca está en Bigote Grande, pero Monteca.
Monteca, bigote, gigante, pequeño, cabeza es nueve, cerveza es bueno.
Buenos días, me gusta papas factorías, el bigote es cabra, Cameron Diaz. Yeah, boy. 2010.
Boy.
TV Dudes.
Wicka, wicka, wicka,